Okay, put on your engineering hats. Today we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the course and begin talking about the engineering design process. This class is essentially all about engineering and technology. Okay, well, what's that mean? The way that I like to think about it is engineering and engineers is the who and the how that technology comes about. All right, so what is technology? How do you define it? Are smartphones technology? Are computers technology? How about robots? Well, yes, yes, and yes, but it actually can be a lot simpler than that. Simply defined, technology is the use of knowledge and resources to satisfy human wants and needs. So by that definition, something as simple as paper straws could be considered technology. Another example could be the software that I'm using to make this video right now. I have a want. I want to use visual aids, but I don't have a computer that I can hold up for the video. So I can show you a picture, or I can show you a picture of a smartphone. The engineers that developed this software program developed a way to meet the wants of their users, a way to put pictures over the top of videos. That's an example of using their knowledge and their available resources to satisfy a human want. As you can imagine, new technology does not come about by accident. It's the result of a very specific step-by-step process called the engineering design process, sometimes also called the engineering process, or the design process, or simply design thinking. All of these things really talk about the same thing, the methodical step-by-step method that we use to develop solutions to human wants and needs or problems that we identify. When developing a design, engineers consider important factors called criteria and constraints. So what are those? Well, criteria are defined as basic minimum requirements. This is what does the design must do? What does it have to have? What are we trying to solve at the core? For example, let's say you work for Nike and you're designing a new basketball shoe. There are some minimum expectations that the consumers are going to have for those shoes. One criterion may be the soles must be made out of rubber, as opposed to metal or concrete or some other weird material that would not grip the gym floor. Another example of a criteria could be they need to be stylish and modern looking. If they're outdated and not stylish, users or consumers are not going to purchase them. Okay, so those are criteria. What are constraints? Constraints are defined as limiting factors. These are factors that put boundaries around the design and limit what they can do or what it can be. For example, with the shoe, if you're designing a shoe that you want to sell to the mass public, like yourselves, that shoe is going to be constrained by cost. You don't want to use materials that are going to force that shoe cost to be $500, $600, $700. It's going to be very difficult to sell those for a profit. So we need to use materials that are durable, long-lasting, comfortable, but also affordable. So cost is a common constraint on a design. Another example could be available resources. This week you guys are going to start a design challenge where you're going to have to build something at home. However, you're limited by the resources that you have in your house. So those resources would be a constraint or a boundary on your design. You can't add something to your design if you don't have it on hand. Your next step is to watch this short video about the engineering design process. It does a pretty good job at taking you through each step along the way. Once you finish that video, go ahead and answer the questions that follow. When you've got all the questions answered, submit the form, and we're done.